To express fractions, division expressions, and mixed numbers as decimals, let's first remember our decimal places. We'll focus on a few place values today. The ones comes before the decimal. Probably won't have any ones today. We have the tenths, hundredths, thousands. Most of our fractions today will be able to be changed to tenths or hundredths. For example, if we had the fraction 1/10, I can write it as tenths because tenths is one of our decimal places. It would be no ones and 1/10. If I had 2/10, it would be no ones and 2/10. If I had 3/100, it would be no ones, no tenths, and 3/100. If I had 42/100, it would be no tenths, no ones, 4/10, and 2/100. Or we say that just 42/100. Because we always say the last place value that we end in. So in this case, 42/100, this case 3/100, this one's 2/10, this one's 1/10. So if we have the fraction 4/5, we don't have a place value up here called fifths, but we just learned how to change fractions to different denominators, and I can change 5 to tenths. So I'm going to change the 5 to 10. That was by multiplying by 2. So I multiply the numerator by 2, which gives me 8. So 4/5 is the same as 8/10, and I can write 8/10 as a decimal as 0.8. If I have 7/20, I could change 20ths to tenths by dividing by 2, but 7 doesn't divide by 2 evenly. So instead of changing 20ths to tenths, 20 will go into a hundredth, so I'm going to change it to hundredths. 20 goes into 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 5 times. So on the top, to keep it an equal fraction, I also multiply by 5, and I get 35/100. I write 35/100 as 0.35. So as long as it's a fraction, that can change to one of my place values, tenths, hundredths, thousands, 10,000s, etc., I can write as a decimal quite easily by changing it to one of those denominators. Can I change 9 divided by 6 to a decimal? Well, I know I can write it also as 9/6, but 6 doesn't go into 10 or 100 evenly. I do see that I could reduce it. Let's try reducing it. Maybe then I could find a tenth or a hundredth. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. And now I see that my 2 would change to tenths. So I have 2 times 5, which is 10, and 3 times 5, which is 15. But 15/10, that was what we called improper. So I will divide that down. 15 divided by 10 goes once, with 5/10 left over. So 1 and 5/10 as a fraction is 1.5. 1 and 5/10 as a decimal. So 9 divided by 6 became 1 and 5/10, or 1.5. What about 2 and 1/4? Pause the video and see if you can figure this one out. Well, fourth is again not one of my place values. So I look to see if I could change it to tenths. 4 doesn't go into tenths evenly. What about 100? Well, I still have my 2 here, but my 4 will go into 100. It goes in 25 times. So 1 times 25 is 25. So 2 and 25/100 looks like 2.25. Pause the video and try 12 divided by 5. Write it as a decimal number. Compare your work and see if you agree. How about 3 3/5? Pause the video to try this one. 5 goes into 10, so 5 times 2 is 10, 3 times 2 is 6, and so our final answer is 3.6. Try this problem. Mr. Taylor has a bolt of cloth that is 8 yards long. He wants to divide it into 5 equal pieces. How long must each piece be? How long must each piece be? Give your answer as a mixed number and a decimal. We'll start off by writing a sentence answer.